The black sheep of the family. That's me. And I'm the one who doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, I don't eat animals or anything that comes from an animal. And in this so-called culture, that is considered rebellious. So what does that say? What does that say about the culture? I go to mum and dad's once a week. I've just left there now and I didn't realise it was raining, but you know, I got the bike all loaded up, so I thought I'm gonna ride anyway. And I just put the GPS on and I just said, right, take me the most direct route back home, back to the forest. And I've never been on this route before. I've never seen this footpath. I've never been on this trail, but it's pretty cool so far. I've had to unload the bike and climb over a gate. I'm following this river. Yeah, it's pretty good. Took a gamble because you never know what you're going to find when you follow the little black lines on the map. But it was worth it. And it's very cold today actually. It feels like about 9 or 10 degrees tops. So the reason I felt compelled to stop and grab the camera, not only to share the joys of travelling by mountain bike, but I just had that feeling of adventure. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm in another mini dark night of the soul these last few days or weeks. My skin's been getting worse. You know, it's trapped energy, or it's energy that is trapped, but it's being released. It's leaving the body, and that's what I think chronic illness is. And something that's come to me recently is I've been on this journey since I asked for it to begin in 2012, and it really got started in 2013. That's when I first had this thing appear on my skin. I went to doctors, they called it psoriasis, so we went through the motions, the basic treatments that you give to this thing through allopathic medicine. It's like we treat the symptoms, of course. It's not a criticism, it's not a judgment of allopathic medicine, it's just what it is. And I suffered like that for 1.5 years before I decided that it was really up to me to do something about it. That's so powerful when you see something like that. I can feel it. The fucking universe is speaking to me. It wanted me to see that animal, and it was right here next to the fence as I rode past. I'm tearing up. I can feel it. Just as I was riding down here, and there's more to this story. So in 2015, I cleaned up my act. It took me 1 year to transition. I eventually was eating a 100% plant-based diet. I gave up the smokes, I gave up the drinking. And I've had my doubts about the vegan diet. I really honestly have, but I know in my heart it's the right thing. And whenever I really doubt, there's always something that comes along that shows me you're doing the right thing. And you know, I've been to some pretty crazy places with that. I've done the raw thing, I've done the fruitarian thing for a little while. I did some juicing. I was liquidarian for 1 week some time ago now, about over 1 year ago. But I was going into the winter. I really fucked myself up, and when I got into this off-grid thing, I thought that's the most important thing in my life, and it doesn't matter about you just being hard on yourself with the diet. I went back and basically I've just been eating whatever within the bounds of veganism. But recently I found myself in a relationship with this girl who I've known for a long time. Hello there. And we have had romantic involvement in the past. And it seems like, well, we're in a relationship now. There's no doubt about it. We're in a relationship. Have been now for a little while. We see each other about once a month. So I feel like this is it's a sign. It's very supportive. The numbers speak to me very clearly when I'm going to see her, when I'm with her. And I know that there's something trying to give me a push through this healing, because the thing is, people say to you, why don't you just go and see a counsellor? A relative of mine said that to me recently, like, have you thought about getting counselling? I think he'd been watching some of my older YouTube channels where I'm just working through all this stuff in my head, and I made public as much of it as I possibly could. I don't do enough of this type of video where I just randomly talk to the camera and get out what's in my head, in my heart. But he said, have you ever thought of getting some counselling? I'm like, yeah, sure I have. And it's just the same as using the allopathic route to treatment of physical symptoms. It's just, we'll do whatever we can to get this individual back to work, back to sitting in front of the telly watching Strictly Come Wherever You Fucking Please, and, you know, just living that old-fashioned lifestyle that I left behind many years ago. And yeah, you can tell by the way I speak about it, I'm very critical of it, because I know how important it is for people like myself, people who feel compelled, people who feel moved to leave that stuff behind, and to do so absolutely, to make hard boundaries, to say, no, I'm not going to engage with that system, with that way of thinking, with that way of doing things. So I just crossed over that footbridge back there, and then I was coming here, and there was this Nahko song which I'll play in a minute that came on. I've just downloaded a bunch of new music because I want to try and lift myself up and push myself through, and I'm getting a whole bunch of new songs involved, and hopefully, I can feel it, and I'm listening to this song, and it's the one where he's singing about it all can be done, and just the lyrics in that as well, it was speaking to me, something, I don't know what to call it, you can't call it, you can't name it, something which defies naming, but it reaches out and touches you in moments like that, and it's speaking to me through the lyrics of this song. So I'll play that in a minute, and I just know that I'm on the right path, basically, even though it's a path I've never ridden before. It wants me to speak, it wants me to grab the camera out and talk about what I'm experiencing.
It all can be done. It all can be done. Whatever your method or theory of one, yeah. It all can be done. I can't believe it, what's happening to me, and I'm gonna own it. This rite of passage so attached to it. I'm gonna heal it, 'cause I've never been abandoned, just left alone. And that's the hardest thing to ignore. It all can be done. It all can be done.